Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fantastic episode of The Left Wing. I am TJ Whitehead, Power is Taken Not Given, joined as always by John Cooper Paz of Counterpoint Politics. How are you and the dog doing today, my friend? I see him in the background there.
I'm doing good. My dog is doing absolutely terrible because I don't know if you noticed, but it snowed in a lot of parts of the country. And here in Philly, it's just snow, icy snow everywhere, including my backyard. So she can't play fetch. And so she has
Oh,
been a very sad dog. Sorry to report.
genuine tragedy.
Uh,
Genuine tragedy. That was a
Probably the
hell of
worst
a
thing going on in the
snowstorm.
country right now.
Not without question. That was absolutely a devastating snowstorm that came through. I mean, it seemed to affect everyone. It was kind of rough.
Yeah, in the olden days, if you had a nationwide polar freeze a day after a protester was executed by the state in the middle of the street, the religious people would be up in arms about it. But they seem to be not taking it as a sign for some reason.
Oh, I do miss the days when people would blame weather events on the gays. Remember that? Whenever there was
Hmm.
earthquakes or storms or hurricanes or whatever, you'd have people like Jerry Falwell, 9/11, even man-made acts of terror. They'd say this is the fault of the gays. This is because of abortion. But now this is actually we look. It is. I feel like since November, we've all been saying the same thing over and over again. But how could you not? The conservatives are in this weird position where they're the dog that caught the car, where they've got
Hmm.
everything they wanted. They control all three branches of government. They control most governorships. I think are conservative now, and bad things keep happening. Things seem to be worse. They're not happy. What do you blame it on now? You got to keep finding. First, you had the gays, you had the Muslims, you had the Latinos. Now it's the Somalis. Eventually, you're going to run out of people to blame, but they keep trying.
Then they will never stop because they only know one
No.
playbook. I do want to mention it is our Q&A show, so if you guys have any questions for us, make sure to drop us in the comments. We already have one, DJ, and I actually have another one from Threads. But first off, starting off, Ron DeSantis says, if you could deport Nick Shirley to any country, where would it be?
Oh no. Wow. That's a good one. Where would I deport Nick Shirley to? It'd have to be somewhere where he sounds even you know what? It'd have to be somewhere like Britain, where like his mastery of English is so low that if he went to England where people actually know the language, hearing British people talk is fascinating to me because they're not, any brighter than Americans, I'd imagine, but their vocabulary is so extensive. Just deeply impressive hearing an average British person talk. I like to see him stumble his way through any sentence talking to people from anywhere in England. That'd be pretty fun to watch.
So my mind went in a similar direction. I mean, the obvious answer is Somalia, but like that's just easy pickings right there.
Yeah, too
Um,
easy.
And I don't think it would be. I don't think we should deport people. I feel like it would be hypocritical of me to deport Nick Shirley. However, what I would do is send him to journalism school until he passes, which is basically a life sentence. Like he, because he will never, ever, ever be able to. Not only will he not be able to like get a journalism degree, but he will hate every moment of being there because everyone will be doing what he thinks he's good at way better than him, and he will be hated.
He would, but I mean, this I saw. There's this guy on Twitter named Richard Hanania, I think is how you pronounce his last name. Now, I think from what I could gather about Richard Hanania is that he is a conservative, but he's incredibly disillusioned by MAGA, and not just MAGA, but the Republican Party in general and conservative thoughts in the United States. And he's always shitting on Republicans and right wingers. And he brings up he always said that there was a human capital problem with the American right, in that the American right wing there it's essentially impossible to be an intellectual and be an American conservative. The two are incompatible. And he
Mhm.
says that, the IQ gap between the right and the left is really staggering. And I saw him mention something yesterday where he said that on Spotify, the top two podcasts, the most listened to podcasts from people who identified as Democrats or left, were PBS and the New York Times. And on the right, the top two podcasts were Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. And he said, you can't defend this. You cannot pretend that these are equal. Like whatever problems you have with the New York Times or PBS, they pale in and to the insanity, the lack of professionalism that you see from Candace Owens particularly, and the racism and bigotry of Tucker Carlson. But that's how conservatives operate. Their journalism school would be just woke liberal nonsense to them. They couldn't possibly handle it. So I think that going to journalism school would just hurt him. It would just make him another normal journalist when he could just say, "Hey, look how bad these dark skinned people are." That's how you get credit on the right.
And that's why we always say, like, you can be a reasonable conservative. You cannot be a reasonable Republican. Like, they don't line up anymore. Like, always I thought the Republicans are wrong, but at least like before there was extensive arguments to be made that they were actually looking at economic data and research, and while it might be flawed, they're using their brains here. They're not anymore. There's no defending any of this. I do have a question coming in on my threads. So on my threads, I asked, "Hey, does anyone have any questions for us?" I rarely get comments to that because threads like buries that shit real hard. But someone did say, I'll bring it up here. They said, "Hey, Counterpoint, why are you a fucking idiot?" Now, this question confused me at first. This is coming from Zarita Cesar. And it confused me at first because I was like, but I'm not an idiot. So how do I answer this question? And then I realized, TJ, he probably made a typo. He probably meant to say, "Hey, Counterpoint, why are you fucking an idiot?" To which I say, it's not nice to talk about your mother like that, bro.
Oh, very good. Very good. Very good. John,
I hope that wasn't too far to go for a long drink of water, but I just had to make the joke.
John going into the mom jokes, usually my lane right there, but I appreciate that, John. I love it. I love to see more of this. That was a good turn right there. It is funny whenever right wingers, I don't know, it actually doesn't happen too often. That, at least on a personal level, that if you're talking to someone on the right wing who's engaging you in good faith, one thing that they never really say, "Oh, you're dumb, you're stupid, you're an idiot." It doesn't happen all that often, and it's kind of a superpower. I encourage all lefties out there of moderate intelligence or higher to use it, because if you're having a good faith conversation with a conservative, a lot of times they'll say stuff like, "Listen, man, you're clearly smart. You're a bright guy. You know what you're doing. Just say thanks." Don't ever say it back because you don't mean it, right? The person you're talking to is usually an idiot, and they see their power, so go ahead and take it. Colby says,
TJ, I'm sorry. Before you, did you just say it rarely happens you get called an idiot by right wingers? Because the only reason I'd say it rarely happens is because I usually get called retarded. Like it's just not their go-to. I get insulted by right wingers. You go to any of my posts, it's just you're an idiot. There's no reasoning behind it. It's just you're an idiot. That's the entire argument. I get that all the time. I'm kind of surprised you don't. Although I will say it's more common on threads than it is like.
I meant in like personal discussions that if you're talking to someone, if it's a public forum, whatever, people will just say whatever they want to be, bombastic and to raise clout and just get attention and everything. But if you're having a conversation with someone who you are sure is not, or like a personal conversation face to face, or maybe over text or over instant message or something like that, you're less likely to get the insanity. Although that does happen on occasion. I guess some people are just looking for a fight. But if someone that you're sure is just, having a good faith conversation, if you are intelligent, people will acknowledge it. Like we and by the way, this is also my favorite part. If someone does happen to call me an idiot, it's like, okay, man, you can say it. I mean, I know that's not true, and you know that's not true, and most importantly, everyone listening to this or seeing this knows it's not true. I mean, it's just a waste of time. Why are you going ahead and doing this? Colby wrote, "Happy Tuesday, everyone." And favorite co-host with a last name in opposition to Black History Month. I'm not sure. Is that like a Whitehead joke?
I think that's a Whitehead joke. Yes, I think that's.
I don't really. I don't get it though. But like, how is Whitehead in opposition to Black history? I don't understand.
I don't know. I think it's really low hanging fruit. Colby, I'm going to send you back to the factory on that one.
Colby,
come back. You have a pretty high batting average here, so we're not gonna bench you. But that wasn't your best shot.
No. Yeah. I mean, you're better off going with like a pimple joke or something like that. Like white. I don't know. It's like, but I will say, since we're on the topic, this is something that was when I was young. People would bring up. I grew up I went to a white church as a kid. And so people would bring this up a lot, where they would say they don't like the existence of Black History Month. And why isn't there a White History Month? And it's an easy question to answer here. One, no one's making you celebrate Black History Month. Like, no one's forcing you to do so. And there are White History Months. There are multiple White History Months. There is an Italian History Month, which is, I think, check out which month that is. But there, Irish History Month is March. That's a pretty easy one. There's history months for different ethnicities all over the place, and so yeah, you can find. Now, it's not my fault that no one gives a shit about these, including the people who are clamoring for White History Month.
I'm just hearing about this now that March is Irish History Month.
March is Irish History Month. It is. You guys can fact check me, look it up right now. You will find March is. It's the one I remember because it's the easy one to remember, of course.
Yeah.
And get this, there's a Native American History Month. And right now, it's not going to surprise you. It is November. It's Native American History Month. No shock there. But it used to be, I think, October 15th to November 15th was Native American History, which is weird. They changed it later on, but there is Asian History Month, or Asian American and Pacific Islander History Month is May. There's history months for like every ethnicity you can think of. So if you're really upset that there's no White History Month, you just haven't looked into it. You just haven't checked. So yeah, that's something to roll with there. JC Light says, hey, Colby, how many North American countries are there? The irony, talking about intelligence. I don't know what he's talking about. I have no idea what that's.
He goes off about this in my comments all the. I have no idea what his problem with Colby, and he comments this randomly. I don't know what it is. But yeah, and he also says the elitist arrogance is so telling. The smartest people in the room usually don't have to tell people. Here's the thing. You're right. I usually don't. It's weird how you're siding with the people who regularly just post you're an idiot, and they seem to always agree with you. And then you're calling us elitist. I never do that. Like you'll never see me in the comments just go, "You're an idiot." Like you have to be like really going at me hard for me to say something like that, because it's just a bad argument. It's not a good argument at all.
And I don't know, at least in my case, I don't go around saying I'm the smartest person around. Other people tell me that. That's why I'm fine with it, okay? Because it's just disingenuous for me to pretend that I'm just as dumb people I'm arguing with. It's not true. I mean, these are not conversations amongst or between two intellectual equals right here. And I'm not going to pretend otherwise. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. If I went to a guy who knew a lot about cars, I don't know shit about cars, nothing at all. And if someone says, yeah, this is the problem with the car, now that doesn't mean he's right. But I'm not going to sit there and argue with him like I know as much about a topic as they do, right? Which is what conservatives do. That you start talking about stuff and they just run off on these wild tangents and conspiracies and shit. You ask just a basic question, seeing if they have a cursory knowledge of the subject, and they don't. And they have emotion, they have guts, they have instinct and intuition, and they act like that's as good. This is also... You know what? People with college degrees, they are smarter than people without college degrees. They are, okay? I mean,
it's not like universal. It's not like every person with a college degree is smarter. No, there's idiots with college degrees, but on average, it's a pretty significant gap.
Yeah, absolutely. It's and this is played out in every aspect of life. That people with college degrees are more stable, they make more money, they have better family lives. I mean, it's just they go to prison less. I mean, everything about going to college increases your chances of success in life across the board, and conservative shit on it. Every chance they get, they will tell you, well, I know a guy who didn't go to school and he owns his own business. Good for you. Good for you. Do you think that matches with all the data with stats? I don't know. This is the problem with arguing with these folks. By the way, I have hemorrhoids 23.
I don't know. I don't know what the 23 is, but I love. Oh, by the way, I have hemorrhoids as a username. I imagine 23. I'm actually worried that is some like Nazi thing.
Nazi thing? Yeah.
But if it's a Nazi thing, we apologize.
Sorry.
That's LeBron James' number to me. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't like that LeBron James' number is 23. That's bugged me for a long time, because when LeBron first came into the league, his number was 6, right, when he played with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And that was his number. He was number 6. And then he changed it to 23. And it's like, why would you? I get you did it because of Michael Jordan, but that's kind of a, I don't know, kind of a beta move, I kind of think right there, that you were number 6 and now you're trying to be like Michael Jordan. And Kobe, he changed his number from 8 to 24. And at least his reason, I think he was just honest about it, where he said, yeah, if I change my number, people will buy more jerseys. So I was like, okay, you know what? I can dig it. Maybe that's why LeBron.
There might have been another reason there, TJ, that he didn't.
24 above 23. Yeah, I kind of got that too, but at least he said it. Like, yeah, I like some more jerseys. Like, all right, can't argue with him there. JC Love says, basic question: what is a woman? An adult female human being. Very easy question to answer. Not awkward at all. I don't know this. I'm not that kind of liberal, man. Okay, you're not gonna get me with a stupid ass question like what is a woman? That's it. An adult female human being. That's the answer.
Wait, TJ, can we talk about how like I want to criticize the fellow libs over here? Like
Yeah.
I don't understand why this question trips them up.
No idea.
That's the correct answer. An
Yep,
adult female human being. Then your opponent will probably follow up with, well, so trans women aren't women, and then you just say, no, they are. If we're talking about gender, that is how you identify. Therefore, they are a woman. And then you just have to keep them on the defensive. If you go right on the defensive immediately after they ask a normal question, even if you're right in the argument, it looks like you lost. Just don't do it. Just answer with confidence in a reasonable way.
They also fall into this dumbass trap whenever they ask liberals, hey, can men have babies? I think we talked about this on the show once, John. And listen, if someone asks you, can men have babies? The answer is no. Okay, that's the answer, right? That is the fucking answer. It's not that difficult. And so whenever people like tying themselves in knots and everything, don't do that. Like, listen, like the example I give is like if someone asks you, hey, how many legs does a human being have? The answer is 2, right? That's the answer. Now, sure, there's like a 1% or sub 1% chance the person might not have 2 legs. They might have 1, they might have 3, they might have 4 or 5, right? But these are exceptions to the rule. Now, that doesn't mean they're not human beings. So when I say
it doesn't mean you answer the question too. Oh, you don't care about handicapped people? You don't care about disabled veterans? No, that's not the fucking question.
Yes, you're not invalidating their humanity by saying humans have 2 legs. Just like when I say no, men can't have babies, because 99.9% of the time, that is the accurate answer to it. Now you want to say, well, there's trans women, I confuse the terminology myself. There's trans women who can have babies. All right, sure. Yeah, or trans men. See, I did it myself. There's trans men that can have babies. Yeah, sure. All right, but that's the exception.
Trans women that can have babies too.
Yeah, you start dancing around this like you're afraid. And just come on, just be a normal average person right here. JC, man, JC's commenting a lot. You're an exception, but well done. All right.
Oh, you missed. Wow. By the way, I have hemorrhoids. Said he's answering the question of how many countries there are in North America. 23 is higher than I would have guessed. I feel like there's not 23. There's no way.
Maybe so. Well, maybe because
I don't know. I've never really known exactly where North America cuts off.
I was right about to say, does North America cut off and Central America, or they would include like Mexico and Nicaragua and like the Caribbean countries and stuff. So there could
do they count as North America? I'm really not sure. Again, I'm American. I don't know
geography. The equator goes through Ecuador. The equator goes, which is in South America. Oh, actually, that's not where your cutoff is. So I'm guessing is Central America part of North America or not? I guess that's what it comes down to. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Nor is it relevant information. Like I always, when people like ask questions like that, I'm like, why do I care? Why do I care how many countries are in North America? Why it changes my life? Nothing. It's a nice little trivia fact. I can't be bothered to remember that.
There's a lot of I love trivia facts. I love trivia facts because
trivia facts are fun.
They're fun.
But if you don't know one, I'm not going to be like upset about it. You know?
No. And so, all right, what do we have here? Speaking of men having babies, you're familiar with heated rivalry, right? No, are you, John? You know what that is?
Have you? Okay, you are the second person today that I've talked to who hasn't heard of heated rivalry, and I'm like, how have you not heard of heated rivalry? It is everywhere. Have you not heard of it? Seriously?
No. What is it?
Okay, so it is a show on HBO that is about 2 gay hockey players. And I just want to be very clear. When I say that, you're probably thinking, oh, like Brokeback Mountain, but with hockey. And then I say, no, it's like way less like artistically valid than that. And you're like, oh, okay. So like kind of like, no, it's softcore porn, DJ. It is straight up like because I watched the first 2 episodes with my wife, and I was expecting, oh, there's gonna be a lot of like gay romance shit, but there's also going to be like an actual story there about hockey. No, like they could have replaced hockey with anything. They clearly know nothing. And I'm not even like a hockey guy. It is just paper in the back of this softcore porn with these 2 gay guys. It is actually like one of the. I hate to agree with conservatives here, but I'm like, that's not artistically valid. We don't need. This could have been so much better. This could have been actually good. I'm not worried about the gay shit. I'm upset about how fucking bad of an actual narrative is at play in heated rivalry. But we'll do a left wing media breakdown, breaking down the mechanics of each sex scene in the future, TJ, if we get enough demand.
Oh, okay, all right. That's now is it hardcore porn or softcore? Because you said both. I'm
So
curious to know which.
it is as hardcore as you can get without showing penetrative sex. Like it is softcore porn in every definition of the word. I do not mean that as a euphemism.
All right, that's good to know. All right,
but it's huge, TJ. It's like the number 2 most watched show in the country right now. Like it's absolutely massive.
What is happening here? How can? All right, whatever.
White women, TJ. I don't know what to tell you.
Wait, that's what white women are into watching.
It's an all female audience. I'm sure there's gay dudes who watch it too, but it is very much.
I would figure that would be the big audience. I figured that would be the audience. Okay, so all right. I wanted to get to this. Like I titled the show, "The Conservatives Are Destroying the Nation," and they are. There's. I don't know. It's funny that the right holds up the reputation of being the ones who love the country, and they don't. They don't. They love specific segments of American mythology. They like white nationalism. They hate democracy. There's just a lot they hate and that they don't like, and the stuff that they want doesn't really have a positive effect on humanity or the country as a whole. But the institutions they really, really despise. And I wanted to show this clip from Dan Bongino's show. Dan Bongino, you guys might remember him as the deputy director of the FBI who worked a real job and quit after like 10 months of not being a podcaster anymore. But apparently there's no love lost between him and his old boss. Donald Trump came on his show. Did you hear what he said about elections, John?
I have not seen this at all.
All right, let's go.
And they vote illegally. And amazing that the Republicans aren't tougher on it. The Republicans should say, we want to take over. We should take over the voting in at least 15 places. The Republicans want to nationalize the voting. And we have states that are.
Okay, so you hadn't heard that Donald Trump said that he wanted to nationalize voting and have Republicans specifically take it over. And I have another clip here of him talking about his thoughts on election integrity as well. Here we go. This is about him talking about Minnesota.
Minnesota, if they allow us to do the job, it's a mess. There's something in the water up there. And I love this. I won the state 3 times. I got no credit for it. I won that state 3 times, but it's a rigged state, really rigged badly with the Somalians and the theft. And I guess you studied it, but I hear it's over $19 billion. Okay. Can you imagine? They have a country where they have no money, they have no nothing, and they come over here and they're able to steal more than $19 billion. And we're right on their ass.
Yeah, that was one of the first cases I got in.
These are people that don't work. Yeah. Dan, these are people that don't work. These are people that are just not an asset to our society, to put it mildly. And we got to get them out, most of them. And it's most of them.
I want to tell the audience.
92% don't work.
Yeah.
And they have an unbelievable system, corrupt system of welfare. Many of them drive Mercedes-Benzes, had nothing when they came over. The good news is, you notice they don't see ships being stolen anymore from Somalia? Because we hit those guys with the same weapon that we take out the drug dealers from the ocean. We stop every time we hit a boat. We save 25,000 lives. Each boat, and pretty accurate, each boat is responsible for the death of 25,000 Americans. Think of that, okay? And we knock them out like candy. We are knocking them out. We also do that with the pirates in Somalia. That's why you don't see ships being taken anymore, because they don't play games. So, they were stealing ships every day. Now it takes courage to steal ships. They don't do it. You understand. And you did a great job while at the FBI. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, John, I want to get your thoughts on this, but I just want to comment on how off the rails that went, where he started talking about elections and then he ends up talking about Somali pirates. It was just kind of a weird tangent right there. But what do you think?
It ends on, yeah, you got to be brave to pirate a ship now. as if that wasn't always the case. The first knee-jerk reaction here is I did see the nationalize the elections thing. I didn't realize that he broke this on Dan Bongino's show. I heard that headline. I heard Mike Johnson talking about it. I did not realize that he said that on Dan Bongino's show, and then it became a Republican talking point. I didn't realize this wasn't a coordinated effort. This is just an off-the-cuff comment Trump made, and then they had to circle the wagons around it. I think that's hilarious. Second, damn, every time I hear him on a audio line, you really hear the old fucking man. Like, it's really crazy how old he sounds. When you see him talking, you're used to it. He definitely sounds like he's declined. But like you see him, it's him. He's right there. He's been here forever. When it's just the audio, he sounds like a crazy old man more than ever before. He has that lisp in his voice that Joe Biden got towards the end. Like it's come. I don't know why more people aren't like talking about. I guess because so much wild shit is going on. But it is crazy. Third thing, I won Minnesota 3 times under 3 separate presidential administrations, including my own. And it was rigged against me every time. Brilliant argumentation there. And lastly, just the nationalize the vote thing. I don't think, like, I'm not worried about it, TJ, to a certain extent, because I don't think he knows what he means. Like, it's so clear when he's talking that other people have put things in his brain and they get filtered through this jumbled mess and they come out his mouth. Like the 25,000, if you asked him to show you what this source for every time I blow up a boat, it saves 25,000 lives, he couldn't give it to you. If you put a gun to his head, he'd have no idea how he fucking knows that. It's someone just put it in his brain. They thought, great leader. You save 25,000 lives every time you murder these fucking people. Like, that's it. And so I don't know what he means by nationalize the elections. So it's really hard for me to come with an opinion other than whatever it ends up being. It's probably awful.
This is so to address your points right there. The funniest part is him saying he won Minnesota 3 years in a row. John, do you know the last time Minnesota voted for Republican? Do you know, like, an election?
It was pre-Reagan, right? Or was it Reagan?
Yes.
No, wasn't Minnesota the only one not to vote for Reagan?
No. So it was. You have to go back to 1972, the last time that Minnesota voted for a Republican when they voted for Richard Nixon. So I don't know if Trump is right about this one. I think maybe maybe he didn't actually win Minnesota three elections in a row. That would be a strange aberration from the way history is actually gone. And let's see. Sorry, the comment I was going to get at here. JC Light says Democrats tried to issue national voter regulations twice under Biden. The smart guys talking know this. All right, here's my question to you, JC. Before we continue, do you think that nationalizing the vote is a good idea or a bad idea? This is very important. Like, I gotta know what your stance on this is. Like, whatever this means that there's national regulations and a national oversight for the way elections take place. Do you or do you not think it's a good idea? And then we'll go from there. Because
okay, you're right. Answer that question first.
I want to know exactly. Was Biden right when he did it, and Trump is right when he suggested, or was Biden wrong when he suggested it, and Trump is wrong when he suggested it? Which one? Like, I'm curious to know what you got to say, because I was saying that they don't care for the norms or institutions. And one of the big norms is that the states run their own elections. Like, that's what I said. And that's what I was going with. But, you want to point fingers here. I'm curious, like, who was right, Biden or Trump, or were they both right or they both wrong? And Colby says, we'll know when he's past the point of no return is when he stops telling female reporters to smile more. I saw that, I think, right before the show started. John, do you see that?
Yeah, I can pop it up right here. But it's such an absurd level of... I'm trying to look for it. It's such an absurd level of comical misogyny. Like, it is cartoonish the degree to which he'll just say these things. So you want to put this up on the screen for me?
Yeah, let's go.
You are the worst reporter. No wonder. See it.
Mr. President.
Something that people care about. Yeah. What did you say? Go ahead.
What would you say to the survivors who feel
you are the worst reporter. No wonder. CNN has no ratings because of people like you. She's a young woman. I don't think I've ever seen you smile. I've known you for 10 years. I don't think I've ever seen a smile on your face. You know why? You know why you're not smiling? Because you're not telling the truth, and you're a very.
Yeah, so that I don't know how people listen to shit like that. I know it doesn't matter anymore, right? I know that
it does.
Like who cares? But I do care. I can't not care that that's the president of the United States straight up saying look at this young woman. She doesn't even fucking smile, right? Like, what is she even here for if she's not smiling? And people are like, just okay with that. I don't even hear people defend it anymore. It's just they pretend not to hear it. Like, I don't even, there's no defense to that comment. There just isn't one. And also, I've known you for 10 years, and then also calling you a young lady is kind of insane. Like, because I assume that he didn't know her like when she was in preschool. I assume that he's known her as a professional reporter for 10 years. So unless she got like right out of college and started right with the White House press beat, how the fuck is she not at least a 30-year-old woman? Like, I get, like, how the fuck is this a young lady? It's just insane. He never says anything like this about men, ever. You'll never hear him talk to a male reporter like this, ever. And if you can give me an explanation that isn't just crass misogyny, please let me know.
And it's important to point out that it wouldn't be better if he did it to men, right? It's just something that unique to Trump. That and the reason it's just so, it's like you said, no one cares anymore because the American conservative movements, specifically with Trump, have elevated the coarsening of American culture and discourse. That the more cruel, the more vile, and the more acerbic that you can be, the more they like you. That is a ticket to now. You can say anything you want about Obama, Biden, or Harris. Pick your conservative or pick your liberal representative. You won't find anyone who is as cruel and as callous and as capricious as Donald Trump. And because it wouldn't work, actually. Like we actually advocate for this. We advocate for people on the left to be a lot meaner. I think people on the left are far too nice, the conservatives, that it is a common trope from right wingers that blue states are absolute nightmares. Every blue city. I put the picture up of for the thumbnail where it showed where all the money comes from in the nation, and half of it comes from these like tiny blue areas where the economic engines of the region, the country are. Just disparage them. Just call them garbage. Call them trash. Call them the worst names. You never see that on the opposite side. Gavin Newsom did it a few times where he's like, Alabama and Mississippi are shitholes. Like, they're terrible places. Like, all the worst places in the nation are red states. You don't hear this from the left like you hear it from the right all the fucking time. And there is a structural advantage to red states versus blue states. If you ever wonder why the Senate is always like on a razor's edge for Democrats, it's something like 20 states that are solidly red, that are like Trump plus 10 states. That's 40 senators right there. They have an absolute advantage because, there's just more red states than blue states. And so they can do this. They can just trash blue states and like say that they're the real Americans, like the people in blue places aren't real Americans. There's no symmetry on the other side of this. So there's no incentive for Trump to actually be a nice person or a decent person. If your 6-year-old acted like Donald Trump, you would be admonishing that 6-year-old every minute of every day. But you're perfectly fine with it when it's the president of the United States.
Yeah, no, it's funny you say that because I actually went off on that a little bit on Threads yesterday. I want to look at a couple comments and then circle back to what you just said.
Sure.
So first of all, Kyle said, "Hi guys." Hi, Kyle.
Hey.
Always love having you here. And Colby say, oh no, that's what he just said. And Colby said, and not one other reporter saw anything to defend Caitlyn or any other female reporter. He'll say it too. I don't know why none of if the reporters just stood together, they could defend shit like that, but they don't. And I really don't understand what's wrong with journalistic culture that never happens. Also, JC Light asked, do you even know what Democrats tried to pass? JC, we'll answer all the questions you have. You have to answer the one very simple yes or no question. Do you agree with Donald Trump nationalizing the elections? It's a very simple question. It is the topic of conversation. We have to know where you stand before answering your questions. Of course, you don't have to answer, but we're not going to address any of your other questions until you do. And if you want us to answer your questions, you build a platform and have your own show that we come on and watch. Okay. Anyway, the point you were making about the red states there, we talk about this all the time, but I was legitimately like, why does some bumblefuck lived in small towns their whole lives, red state rural Republican, get to say immigrants need to assimilate into American culture? What fucking culture have you assimilated into, bro? Like, have you ever experienced anything outside of your small town? Because I guarantee you, these people are like, oh yeah, this small town of mine, this is American culture. And if you're doing some normal ass city shit, if you aren't speaking English, that's not American culture. And it's like, bro, have you ever been to a part of America where you don't have to speak English? Because they exist, full of Americans. And you're just like, oh, we have to speak English here. No, we don't. It's only because you haven't assimilated into American culture that you think that. In America, the culture is there are many parts of the country that speak many different languages. Doesn't have to be English. That's American culture. Objectively, there are many Americans who do not speak English. How is that not American culture? It's just it is, and they got very upset about me. They called me an elitist for saying that.
Yeah,
they're
funny
that immigrants need to assimilate, but I'm an elitist for saying they need to assimilate. See how
yeah. Someone whose entire existence is seeing the same 40 people every day, who have no interaction with the outside world outside of their pitiful lives in Possum Grape, Arkansas. They're the ones who get to say how the entire country should be run. They're the ones who say, yeah, I'm a real American. People who have struggled their entire lives to work within large communities and build something. People who actually generate all the money that runs this fucking place. Those aren't real Americans. They have nothing to say with how this should be run. John, I just noticed this. The vertical video for us is different this time. Do you see that? Usually,
I did notice that.
Yeah, and I don't know. I didn't do that. I don't know how that happened.
I didn't change anything either. I think it's fine. I'm not upset about it. But
I'm cool. Yeah,
I'll definitely look into why it changed. It might just be the settings. I don't know.
Probably I think I kind of like it better. But anyway, but
I'm cool with it.
And it's so incredibly self-centered and myopic. And I have an example of this. One of my favorite people in politics is Valentina Gomez. You know who she is, John. We've had her videos on the show before, but she's
is she the one that like she like shoots like fucking
yes. She's amazing. I hope what's really great about her is how committed to the bit she is. That she is like cartoonishly evil. Like as much as we should talk conservatives, whatever, your average conservative is not as insane as Valentina Gomez. Like you got to admit it. She's the one who I remember she was running with a flak jacket, like she was on the bulletproof vest down the street when she was running for, I don't know, Secretary of State or something in Missouri. And she said that her opponents were weak and gay. And she had a Quran. She had a flamethrower, and she was shooting a flamethrower at the Quran. She had like this an effigy of like a Muslim guy that she shot in the head and everything. She's run for office in Texas and Missouri as a far-right conservative. She loses every time. Like she loses even amongst the conservatives, but she still keeps going. She did this protest. Let me see, where was this? Where did this take place? Ah, shit. Fuck, I can't remember. Probably Minnesota. My guess is going to be Minnesota. And she somehow infiltrated this meeting of like Muslim people, and she had on a hijab and everything. And then she went up just to shit talk Islam. I wanted to play this clip right here.
Islam is the religion of rape, incest, and pedophilia, where they bow down to a stupid rock and false prophet. I will never mention the logic.
Okay, so if you guys couldn't hear that, she went up there and she started saying that Islam is the religion of rape and pedophilia, and that it is a religion where people bow down to a stupid rock. And she was just going on about how bad Islam is and everything. And she was, chased off the stage. One thing I want to say is it's very rich hearing this come from Christians. Okay, it's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious to hear Christians say, well, Islam has all these rules, and they're okay with rape and pedophilia. I challenge any Christian out there to tell me what the age of consent is in the Bible. Like, where does the Bible mention the age of consent? I'd like to hear that verse. You're not going to find it, okay? There isn't one. No, God has a billion rules that he gives to people in the books of Exodus and Leviticus. Not one time does he say, hey, don't have sex with kids. Not there. It's not there. I challenge you to find it for me. The closest thing you can find is allusions to the fact that after a child hits puberty, then they get like allusions to it, because I don't use the actual words, whatever. But Yeah, God is seemingly okay with this. You can't eat shellfish. He was very clear about that. Not once did he say you shouldn't fuck kids. So it's kind of funny. And yeah, Islam does have a lot of primitive, like, ridiculous shit. If you take it literally, like some people do, just like Christianity does. So I don't know. The faith on faith fighting I find kind of hilarious because they're kind of, what is it? Looking at the speck in someone's eye when there's a beam in their own.
Yeah, no, TJ, like I know we joke about things a lot on the show, but I just have to say, I find it deeply offensive that she called Islam the religion of rape, because I'm a proud Irish Catholic and we are the fucking religion of rape, people. We have a whole fucking system for raping kids. It's been going on for hundreds, if not thousands, hundreds of years. We are the religion of rape, us Catholics. So I don't want to hear this from the Islams. You cannot compare to our numbers. It's just we put them up better than you can. Yeah, she's insane. I think Colby had a great. Kyle had a great question here. Said, why isn't she charged with disrupting a religious event? I don't know. Seems like if Don Lemon was charged and arrested, she should be too. I wonder if there's some sort of distinction here they're making between the two. It's all bullshit, TJ. And like I actually have like very little problem with what she did there. Like, cool.
I don't have a huge problem with it. It's just funny. Yeah.
Take the mic, say what you want about their stupid fucking religion. I agree. The problem I'm having is you're like saying Christianity's the one true religion. You guys are idiots. No, you're all fucking idiots. You're all idiots. I don't care what religion.
I'm trying to find it now, but Matt Walsh had a great tweet a couple of days ago about Trevor Noah. I don't know if you saw it. I can't find it, but basically Matt Walsh stated that, hey, I'm glad that Trevor Noah got arrested. And for those of you wondering, Trevor Noah was arrested under some civil rights violation or something for, inhibiting people's freedom to worship. And when he was just recording people, I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. But under the auspices of the Department of Justice, like a federal crime, and he's arrested for this. And Matt Walsh said, hey, I'm glad that Trevor Noah got arrested, but I want to make it very clear that unless he is convicted and sentenced to extensive time in jail, this is not a win. It's only a win if there's actual punishment for this, because if he's just released his own recognizance and he pays no price, he's been basically made into a martyr. It's an absolute win for him. And it's funny because later that day, Trevor Noah was Trevor Noah. Don Lemon. I kept saying Don Lemon. I meant Don
TJ,
Lemon.
how dare you? How dare you confuse your bald black? He's not bald, but
no, Trevor Noah. I was thinking of Trevor Noah because Donald Trump went on this big rant against Trevor Noah after the Grammys or something. Trevor Noah was on the brain, but it was Don Lemon, and he said unless Don Lemon is sent to extended time in jail, this isn't going to matter. And he's right. Like Matt Walsh nails it a lot of times. We give Matt Walsh his flowers all the time, but he's absolutely correct that these performative gestures by Trump and the Department of Justice to try to gain points, it works. I mean, I'm sure it riles up the jug hooting racist and the the morons on the right wing, but it's not gonna do anything other than he Obi-Wan Kenobi to Don Lemon here. He made him more powerful than he ever was before.
I always Matt Walsh knows what he's doing. You can say a lot of things about the dumbass takes Matt Walsh has, but he knows what he's doing with them. Speaking of which, that is a problem for the Trump administration. Like, they can arrest people all they want, but they can't get any fucking convictions in court because A, they're bad arrests, and B, their attorneys are in open revolt. Did you see what happened in a court case today with one of the DOJ attorneys?
Oh no, what happened this time?
DOJ attorney Julie Lee said the system sucks, this job sucks to Judge Jerry Blackwell, who pressed her on why so many court orders are being ignored by ICE and Trump administration. She asked to be held in contempt just so she could get 24 hours of sleep. Wow. Can you imagine? Like, I feel bad for the career prosecutors, man. Like, they're in a tough fucking nut position. God, that's just, I would not want to be them.
I wouldn't want to be, forced doing. Hey, John, it turned back normal again. The vertical video.
Someone called it out. I think JC liked it, and I was just like, I looked and I was like, "What the fuck happened?" I don't know, TJ. I'm now very.
I didn't do this. I didn't. Oh,
I know you didn't. Right. It just I looked over there and it was like that. Which, by the way, JC, like I see that you have other points you still haven't answered our question. So until you answer our question, do you support Donald Trump nationalizing elections? You're being ignored. Just letting you know. Just putting it out there.
Yeah, guys, thank you for pointing out Don Lemon, not Trevor Noah, Don Lemon. Yeah, thank you, guys. I said it before I saw the comments. I did catch, so I did have Trevor Noah on the brain, but yeah.
And Kyle asked, why doesn't she quit? Because
who?
The attorney. Because this is your profession. Like, you've dedicated your life to this, and there's going to be a time after Trump and after this administration. So if you quit, you just have to find a new career. This is what you've done. And like, you might make the argument ethically you should quit, but like, should you? Is it better to not have any power or influence within the administration? Like, I don't know. I don't know whether the people who are resigning are right or the people who aren't resigning are right, but it's a shit situation either way.
I mean, the ethical thing to do would to continue your job and just suck at it. That would be, force them to get rid of you if they have to, and then if you want to get back and say, hey, I did everything to go against these people, and when reasonable people are in charge again, that might look better on your resume or whatever. But yeah, it's kind of like what John pitched, that everyone should try to join ICE to fuck up the whole process and just take your bonus and run or something.
If we had like an organized effort to do that, we could really fuck them up. Like, I'm too lazy to actually do that. But if anyone wants, I'll sign up. I will totally join ICE just to fuck with them until they fire me. Like, no problem with that. And you know what? I'm saying this out loud right now. They'll still fucking hire me. They won't check.
They would.
They won't check.
Did you see they hired that lady?
They're like, yo, white dude with a beard, he's definitely on our side, bro.
Oh my God. Yeah. Did you see the names of the two guys who shot Alex Pretty? Did you see the names of those two guys?
I heard they were Hispanic. Am I correct about that?
Yeah. I have to find their names here.
Also, that does feel, was that released information or was it found out information? Because if it was released information, I don't believe it. If it was found out information, I do.
All right. Well, I saw that their names were I think Jesus Ochoa and Ray Gutierrez. And what got me on this is not only that, a lot of people were shocked they were Hispanic guys. I'm not so shocked by that because a lot of ICE agents I've seen have been people,
a lot of Hispanic
people, a lot of them, and so that.
As someone who is married to a Hispanic, they're the most racist people in the country. White people don't got shit.
Think it works that way, John. I don't think
they are so racist. They are the most. They're racist to their own people. I'll tell you a funny story here. So I'm going to Colombia on a work trip. And my mother-in-law tells me, "Oh, watch out, los mujeres es el diablo." She said it in way better Spanish than that. But I was like, "Oh, like the Colombian women, they're the devil. You gotta watch out for those heartlets in Colombia." And then she said the same about Cuba. And I was like, "Well, what about the Honduran women?" She's like, "Oh, they're the best. They're the daughters of God." And it's just like, do you not? They don't see it, TJ. They are the most racist against other Latinos. They are more racist against other Latinos than white people are to any specific group of Latinos.
John, would you rather be, like, if you had to be one type of racist, would you rather be the type of racist who can't tell Latinos apart, like, no matter like what kind of Latino they are, or someone who can absolutely tell with a specific certainty? You hear the accent, you see the clothes, like, aha, that's a Honduran if I've ever seen one. Which type of racist would you be? Like, if you had to pick which one?
So I would pick the latter. And I picked the latter because there is, how do I put this? A little bit of cultural je ne sais quoi of having racial stereotypes. As someone who grew up in a white, mostly white area, predominantly white area, there were definitely some racial characteristics thrown out about the German areas versus the Irish areas versus the Polish areas. And it doesn't exist as much anymore in my generation, but you hear like my uncles, my grandparents talk, and it's very fucking racist internally with white people. And they do their fucking homework. They know the distinct characteristics. And I respect that. I have respect for that. I don't have respect for, fucking brownie over here. Fuck them. Like that's just lazy racism. At least put in the effort with your racism.
Yeah. So Hugh Bass wrote, TJ, you saw that TikTok with the Asian suit? Yes, right. I did. And Kobe says amateur professional racist. That's what it comes down to. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. So I would rather choose to be someone who couldn't tell. I think that's the difference. Because if you put work into being racist, you're really serious about it. And like John mentioned, it's so weird watching old movies or something where you'll like from the 40s or 50s, and you'll see this guy saying, yeah, I want to date her, but she's Irish and my family's Polish, and they just wouldn't stand for that. Like white people are racist against other white people. Like it is insane watching that. So yeah, I don't know. I'd rather be the casual racist, the professional one, because I'm more worried about the professional one. Like that person's actually, might have some damage.
And it's so weird, TJ. Like I find it so weird. I understand why my grandparents were like that. Like when they were growing up, legitimately, you had your Irish neighborhood, you had your German neighborhood, and that's just naturally what happened. Like the ethnic groups were naturally segregated just by this is who you grew up with, this is who you went to church with. There was a reason to call those people the Germans, these people, because that's what they were. They actually all consolidated themselves, and it was kind of consensual in a way. Now, we don't have that anymore. Like my friend group is a mix of all of these fucking different races and ethnicities. You couldn't like refer to this group of people as any one distinct thing, yet we have a lot of cultural similarities. This is why I get so pissed at the whole like you have to assimilate into America. What fucking American these enclaves don't exist anymore. This is a relic of the past, and I don't understand why anyone wants to go back to it. Like I don't understand why anyone in the world wants to have any consideration to a person's race, ethnicity, or nationality when deciding how much they like fucking are interested in that person. Like it blows my mind that people prefer that. It really is genuinely disturbing.
No, I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll see. Okay. Oh God, there's so many comments I want to get to here, but I wanted to.
Great job, commenters. You are doing great.
You guys are doing great. Yeah, you guys are doing fantastic. I really do appreciate it. I wanted to show this thing about Donald Trump, and what I love about Republicans is that they believe like all these boogeyman stories about Democrats that I kind of wish were true. Oh, actually, hold on. What was his name? JC, I think he commented. He answered the question.
He answered the question.
Requiring ID and standardizing systems used to ensure secure elections. Federal elections are smart federal regulations. Try that again, TJ. Federal elections are all smart federalization of federal elections. States can still have oversight and certify. Okay.
Okay, I'm cool with that. Okay, I always say
all right. I just like that's not a bad answer. I'm surprised by that. Wow,
my thing with voter ID, and I tell this to every Republican who comes at me with this, I will agree to national voter ID requirements as soon as we automatically register every voting eligible person in America to vote, and for free, automatically send them a voter ID. Make no requirements for getting this ID. Make no additional barriers to vote other than being an American citizen, which is what you ostensibly care about. And I'm cool with this. We send every voting eligible person in America, automatically register them to vote, automatically give them an ID, and you can have as much voter identification as you want.
Yeah.
Deal and done.
This is another trick that liberals get into, is that they're completely against the idea of voter identification. Like, no, actually, I get it. Like, I understand why people would want voter ID. I mean, it hasn't always existed, and but it is a way to circumvent some sort of fraud. And of course, the argument that liberals love to go to, which is true, is that there's no evidence of widespread voter fraud. It's just not there. Every time you look for it, you find tiny, tiny examples of it happening. But look, if you want voter ID, I'm perfectly fine with that. That there shouldn't be, a poll tax, like hoops to jump through for people.
If it costs money to get an ID, then it is a barrier. Saying, oh, you need a barrier. Okay, that's fine. Just make it free. If it costs money, it is a barrier. Just straight up, it has a cost to it. Eliminate any cost to voting, and I will be fine with any identification process you want. That is fine.
It's also ironically incredibly inefficient. Like we were talking about government efficiency, the way we handle voting. That the United States government knows everything about you. It knows where you were born, when you were born. It knows where you work. It knows where you live. It knows where you went to school. It knows who you're fucking. It knows everything about you. But you're telling me that when you turn 18, it's just this big mystery? Oh, I don't know if this person, let's get them registered. It's like, no, they know. They already know all the shit about you. It should be automatic, just like that. So, yeah, I agree
Same
with that.
Taxes. I shouldn't have to figure out how much I owe taxes.
This is a running to everyone. Yeah,
there's so many things that I'm like, I can like have no conversation with. This is even a moral one. If you're someone who says, no, I like taxes the way they are, and I don't want the IRS to automatically tell me what the fuck I owe and I just pay it, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like,
Yeah.
Okay, JC fucking Diamond. Like, I don't know what Jamie fucking Diamond, like, who benefits from this other than TurboTax?
It's so insane. Like, it's so crazy. Like, we've seen all the memes of this. It's like, hey, you owe your taxes. How much do I owe? I don't know. You tell me. No, you tell me, motherfucker. You would know how much this is. JC says, sorry if I make typos. This is a drinking game tonight. We are already hammered. Apology accepted. Okay. And then we have, okay, I want to get to the video real quick with Trump I had. Now, this is Trump talking about the wish list, things that Democrats have. I don't know if you've seen this, John, but I really enjoy this. Here we go.
Legislation at levels you've never seen before, and it'll be impossible to beat us. By the way, if they do, they're going to do it anyway, and they are going to immediately do the filibuster. And when they do the filibuster, they're going to pack the court. They want at least five judges. Now I hear it's up to 5. I actually heard up to 7 and up to 9, okay? They want new judges. They want to pack the court, and they will do it in the first day, maybe the week. Maybe they'll slow it down because there's no reason to rush. But they'll do it first week. They'll vote on this. And I have friends over there that are Democrats. I'm close to a lot of people. And I asked them about that because some people say, well, maybe they won't do that. I mean, they destroyed the career of Manchin and Sinema, and they got them out there with the only objectors. Nobody else is going to object. They're going to do it the first day. They're going to pack the court. They're going to make D.C. a state, and they're going to make Puerto Rico a state. So now they pick up 2 states. They pick up 4 senators, okay? You think you have problems? They're going to do all of the things. They're going to pick up electoral votes. It's going to be a very, very bad situation. And it's done. It's done. As soon as they attain power. Now, if we do what I'm saying, they'll most likely never attain power because we will have passed every single thing that you can imagine that is good, all good for the country. There'll be no reason to. If we don't do that, people say they're not doing much and they're in power. So the good news is we did the great, big, beautiful bill, and it's the greatest thing we could have done. And the smartest thing.
All right, John, have you heard anything about this? Have you heard what Trump is talking about here? Are the Democrats planning to, expand the Supreme Court and all that?
Yeah, no, the Democrats are not going to expand the Supreme Court. And I'll tell you why. If you're a Republican out there who's genuinely worried about Democrats expanding the Supreme Court, let me tell you, they're not going to do it because they're a bunch of fucking pussies. They should. Me and TJ will yell at them and tell them they should do it, which means they won't do it. We're experts in having the Democrats ignore us. That's not going to happen. I do actually. That was one of the more coherent.
It is actually, yeah, it is. You're
right, like Trump segments. Like what he said there was actually explain it like I'm 5. Pretty damn spot on. The only way that Republicans can retain power is if we deny voting rights to American citizens. If we start allowing American citizens born in Puerto Rico and living in Washington, D.C., the right to have representation in the federal government, it will be bad for Republicans. That's why we shouldn't do it. That is the reason Republicans oppose this. If Puerto Rico was a deep red territory, Trump would be all on board with giving them the right to fucking vote in federal elections, but he doesn't. Because it wouldn't benefit him. And he's just straight up honest about it. And then he says, if we don't win, we won't be able to do anything. And people will criticize us for saying, oh, look, you don't do anything. You're right, Donnie. That's exactly what happened. Because Democrats do that all the fucking time. Like, you're right. Like, that's a coherent fucking criticism.
It is. It's coherent and it's logically consistent. And honestly, it's good politics. I always talk about this that, Trump is constrained by the rules that apply to most politicians, and it's kind of fun watching him dismantle this shit because politics does work this way. Like the reason that lefties want Washington D.C. to be a state, the reason we state is that it's a group of people without representation in Congress, and that's not fair. Yeah, but also because it'd be 2 blue senators, right? That's the primary reason. If Washington D.C. was a deep red district, there's no way in hell Democrats would be arguing for. I sure as hell wouldn't. Absolutely not. And so,
no, I would.
Yeah,
I would 100%, DJ.
I would not. I wouldn't.
Well, first of all, I think we should abolish the Senate. So if we're going to first principles, the Senate shouldn't exist.
Right, I got that, but I'm saying. but in our current system, like we have, like you want two more
Washington
Republicans,
D.C. should just count towards like Virginia,
Virginia or something. Yeah,
that's the way you solve Washington D.C. But if Puerto
But
Rico was a red territory, I would still say that they should be able.
That's
to vote
insane, John. That is insane. That is just guaranteeing more power to fascists. Your principles matter until they hurt people, right? Like you're telling me you would guarantee this country 2 more Republican senators?
Okay,
That would
TJ, take this in the reverse direction. If you were to be able to disenfranchise voting rights for all of Texas, would you do it?
I'll answer after the show. I'll answer that after the show. Look, because listen, we're to the point now where, yeah, you kind of signed our own death warrant on this. I've had a lot of uncomfortable conversations about, like, it's kind of like, if this is like the end goal, the destination of the rule, what good was the rule? And like, yeah, I want a bunch of bloodthirsty fascists who are going to topple everything I stand for in this country, give them more power. No, absolutely not. Maybe I wouldn't do that, but I certainly wouldn't go out of my way to add to it, which is kind of like a distinction without a difference. No fucking chance. And when the Republicans like put their bullshit defense why they don't want DC, of course it doesn't make sense, but I understand it. It's good politics. Like, if you want to secure your power and make sure that your goals are met, you do everything to stop it. That's politics. We can talk about the morality of it. We can talk about the logical consistency of it. But do you want to win or not? The politics is about power. It's not about how good of a person you are. And no one understands this better than Republicans. And OJC said, now do you know what Biden tried to do or not? Actually, I don't know what you're referring to. I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm going to guess it's
that is the answer to your question, JC. But, and if you want more, you're going to have to come back. But I have no idea.
But the thing is that I guess like we said, we're fine with nationalizing a lot. Honestly, it should be a national election anyway. I don't have a problem with it. So yeah, that's all I was going to.
Yeah, I'm against territorial representation. So yeah,
so I'm really cool with it. And running out of time here. Shit. Please drink plenty of water. We sense it. What is this?
I have no idea. I feel like this
I don't know why I clicked on that.
Wandered into the wrong place. But in case you are in the right place, this is The Left Wing. We talk about politics. Definitely make sure to join us at 6:35 on Thursday, when we will have special guest. I have no idea. I don't know if we've booked a guest. But I'm Huge Ass did ask when the big announcement is coming. And you will find out when me and TJ decide when that announcement is coming.
That's good. Okay, we're running out of time here. One more comment. JC says again, great job, JC. He wrote, I thought y'all were the smart ones. You thought right. All right, so we will catch you guys next week. We'll actually catch you guys Thursday. And I don't think we have a guest. We got to get back on this. We blew our load with 2 guests last week. We should have just stacked them, but they were great guests. They were a great guest though. So we'll go on from there. But we'll see you guys Thursday. Have a good one.